G'day fellas. I know it's been some time since I posted a video, so apologies for not being so timely with my uploads. I've been grinding a lot offline, I've been playing Sweden. I recently did a poll on the Discord, basically just announcing after one of the really bad nights I'd had with Sweden that I was leaving Sweden and that I would be looking for a new civilization, and essentially the Discord voted on what civilization they'd like me to play. Now, I did try out Portuguese, French, and I guess one of the things I kept finding was that I just couldn't enjoy them the same way that I enjoy Sweden. I don't know why it is. Maybe it's just because I've spent so much time with Sweden over the last couple of months with the DE, and then changing civilizations just doesn't seem... I don't know, it just doesn't seem right. I feel like I'm playing a completely different game, which is kind of weird. As a lot of you guys know, I did play Age of Empires very competitively about 10 to 15 years ago, and now that I'm stepping back into the game, I think Sweden's somewhat been my go-to, and so I don't want to give it such a bad rap because it has been changed. It's been redesigned. It hasn't just been nerfed, it's been redesigned. And we're still trying to figure out exactly what it is that Sweden's good at, and all the matchups and whatnot. And so in this game, I'm playing against a guy by the name of I Ride the Short Bus. Now, this is Keister. He's a very, very good player. He's on a Smurf at the moment. And he's playing on the Ottomans. And we've spawned on the map Korea. So Korea is famous for its wood treasures. So we see that... I've spotted an 85 wood treasure, and then there's another wood treasure just to my north. And I say to myself, you know what, we're just going to do a bit of a loop around, we'll see if we can spot, because normally there's a food treasure as well that spawns. It's the tubers, the 80 food. But then we spot another wood treasure, and I just say to myself, oh my lord. And so he's picked up a wood treasure, I've picked up a wood treasure, and now there's two more wood treasures. And so we're just having a bit of a field day, and at the same time I see that he has actually pulled the lions from over his side, and so I've got the tigers and he's got the lions, and it's a bit of a rush. I'm not sure if he's scouted me on this treasure yet or not, but I just sort of say, well, I'm just going to commit to my treasure, and if I can make it over to his in time, then I'll do it. And so, with the blueberries change, the reason why I was wrong about Sweden, because this video is titled, here's why I was wrong about Sweden. And the reason why I'm wrong about Sweden is because it takes so long for a meta to develop. For you to understand something, and here we go, I just sort of sniped his lion, so I took the XP from it, because I knew I wasn't going to get there in time to kill it. So, when a meta develops, it takes a long time for a civilization to really adjust to that meta and for you to learn it. As an example, the Age of Empires 3 meta is a meta that's evolved over years and years and years. And the people that are playing right now on civilizations like Germany and France have been playing those civilizations and those same strategies, those same build orders, those same timings for quite literally years. And so Sweden is still in an initial phase, and we haven't really worked anything out yet. So one of the primary issues that I've been having is that I don't know how to deal with ranged cavalry as Sweden. And people say, you know, use Jaegers, and I've been trying a mix of things. So I have been doing a bit of a Jaeger spam. I've actually found that that's worked quite well. The issue is, though, if your opponent does go quite heavy on ranged cavalry and then mixes in artillery, the problem is that your Jaegers, they're still going to die to falconet shots, just like skirmishers would. And as a result, it means that when people do range cav and falconets, then it's not like you're just making really, really expensive skirmishers that are still going to get one shot by falconets. And so it's still something that I think is going to evolve. I think it will most likely end up with Sweden being given the crossbow, just because we really don't have any ranged infantry, and we really badly need it, especially in the Second Age. It's just very difficult to hold on to some rushes. But with Sweden at the moment, I'm feeling a lot more comfortable with it, because I've come to terms with the fact that it is an Age 2 civilization. We found this build with the Torp wagons, so the 4 Torp wagons. Now, this is a build that is being popularized by A's11. He streams on Twitch, but it was sort of first uncovered by a player by the name of Konoki. Now, Konoki's a member on our Discord. He's also created a website where he has got all the build orders that you can find. So these are build orders that I do and all the top tier build orders. And his website is called No Idle TC. So I'm going to link that down in the description. This is what it looks like. And essentially, he was the one that first messaged me. He's like, hey, I think I found something. And essentially, this is where it comes from. And so one of the other things is that I'm not using Ironworks anymore. When you use Ironworks, you somewhat force yourself to be sitting on coin mines. And the problem with attaching your torps to coin mines is that if you want to come back and use that coin mine, that you're going to be taking away from your torps. So here you can see I'm mining this coin mine at the back. I'm not mining my front coin mine. I'm not going to put any torps up on this back coin mine because this is my coin mine that I'm actually going to mine. And so one of the other things I've been doing is starting Cav. In almost all of my matchups, I'm starting Cav and then going into a double racks. And here we're shipping the 700 coin and the 700 wood. So you can see they're on the torps right now. They're being collected by the torp. You can see how fast it's trickling in. That's villager seconds right there that I'm saving, that I don't have to worry about. And so now I'm dropping down that double racks. And then with the double racks, we're going to just transition into Carolean batches. And so the idea is that we just want to keep the enemy in his base. We want to make sure, so we're up against the Ottomans, so if he's got Janissaries out, which he does, we've spotted those, he's going to be keeping them in his base. He's not going to be coming and idling us. That way we can do what we want. Another card that I've been trying to work out is the Silversmith card. So the Silversmith card is the H2 card that gives you an increased rate of collection for your coin mines, and it also gives yield. Gathering yield, I think it's called. So basically it makes the coin mines last longer. It's been difficult for me to find a spot for this because you do have to ship blueberries, because if you don't ship blueberries, you're not going to be taking advantage of that Sweden economy bonus that you so badly need. And so I've been trying to find the timing, but it's been a little bit hard because the reason why is, even though we're opening up with a double racks right now, once our blueberries comes in, we're going to have such a huge economy that we're going to be able to support making units from 4 military production buildings. And so we're going to be switching back to Cav. We opened with Cav, and then we're switching to infantry, and then we're switching back to Cav. And it sort of takes the opponent off guard by doing this, because often when people do a switch, people expect that switch to last. So if he sees me going double racks, he'll be like, oh, alright, well, this guy's going double racks. I can assume that he's just going to keep making Caroleans. And then all of a sudden, 20 Hussars appear out of the blue, and they're a little bit confused. I've also been mixing leather cannons in as well. I've been finding that they're quite important to have a mix. But one of the things that I've found is that Age 2 Sweden is actually quite strong, even against Age 3 and Age 4 enemy civilizations. And one of the reasons why is because they've got heaps of upgrade cards in the second age. So I've begun shipping my upgrade cards in this game. I'll be shipping, so I've got the melee attack for the Hussar, as well as the melee health for the Hussar. I've also got the infantry health for my Caroleans. And so here we get a really, really good catch. So the opponent has walked out a little bit too far with his Janissaries, and he's not realized that I had the double racks. He thought I might have been doing a Cav semi-FF or something like that. And so we've been able to snare most of his Janissaries, and as a result, our Caroleans are just simply able to charge up onto the Janissaries. We get them in hand combat. Now, they do about the same amount of damage in hand combat, but ideally we can just prevent them from running because we can overwhelm them. And I spot a TC going up from the opponent, so at this point I'm thinking he's probably shipped 1,000 wood as his first card because he's hit the Fortress Age. It's already 9 minutes now for him. I'm thinking, well, this is a little bit greedy. Now, we did see that villager up earlier, and I was a little bit confused. What was she doing? I thought like maybe he might have misrouted it. I didn't actually realize at the time what he was doing, but I'm sure you guys will see exactly what he was doing a little bit later in the video. So now I'm at a point where I'm comfortable with my my military situation. I feel like I'm in control. We got that really good catch. The opponent then ships Abus. I don't know why he's shipped it up here. Obviously we've got quite a big mass. Maybe he thought that we weren't paying attention and he'd be able to get his Abus out without being touched, but unfortunately we get that. That's a free shipment for us because he didn't kill any of our units. He's timed Minutemen with it as well as Janissaries, but it hasn't really worked out for him. The Torps have somewhat blocked the Janissaries as well, so it just means that we get a free TC, which is a really, really big victory for us. It's one of those things where it's like, it's not game-winning, but it definitely adds to the morale loss of the opponent. Because when all of these small victories add up, it gets to the point where they're just like, you know, if this TC had stayed up, if I hadn't caught this TC, who knows what the result of the game would have been. So now I'm dropping down that second stable. That second stable is what is going to enable me to just go absolutely ham on cavalry. We're also shipping that second upgrade for our cav. So we've basically got veteran hussars in the second age, and that's why they're so strong, because it's 15% health and 15% attack. It's in 2 cards, but it's essentially a veteran upgrade, and it's a huge buff to their potential because it just allows you to have a much longer second age. And so with blueberries shipped, it means that we don't need to have a lot of people on food or a lot of villagers on food. We can really just focus on collecting coin. And so we've already exhausted that first coin mine in our base. Now moving down to the second one. As I said, we're not going to take the other coin mine that is in our base, because if we do, then those torps aren't going to be able to gather from it. It's at this point where I said to myself, what about that villager? Where was that villager? And then I realized, there's the dock. I should have probably scouted for this. I didn't even think that he'd be doing something like this. It didn't even occur to me. It is quite common on water maps like Korea. The Ottomans will do this. But I said to myself, you know what, it's going to be okay, because at this point we're essentially all in. We're just completely making military. Like, obviously we're still training villagers, but we're not aging up. We're not interested in doing that. All we're interested in doing right now is just fighting age 2. It's a little bit like the British. The British sometimes do this with Musk Huss. And so Sweden are now, in my opinion, basically British 2.0. And the main positive takeaway for Sweden is that they actually get the leather cannon. So it's almost like you've got falconets in the second age. Obviously they're not as strong as falconets. And so now we've picked off his falconets, and he is left a little bit stranded because he can continue fighting, but it's not a fight that he's going to be trading effectively with. He would probably beat the Karolians, but at the end of the day, he would lose out, because that's not. He wants to maintain his mass as much as possible, because he's going to be switching from Janissaries and Falks. He's going to be going into Jan Abus, and he needs to retain those Janissaries. So if he lost those, it would have been quite a significant loss for him. So he made the right decision in backing out there. But it means that we can just sit and continue massing up hussars. But I realize that it's something that isn't going to last forever, where we can just keep going hussars. So I say, all right, I need to put down an artillery foundry. I need to make sure that what I've got is going to be... Well, I need to make sure that I've got artillery. That's primarily it, because what I've got right now isn't going to be killing a Janissary mass. If he just masses Janissaries, that's essentially it. So I guess just reiterating why I was wrong about Sweden. It's really just that Sweden is still somewhat undiscovered. It's a brand new civilization. It's just been redesigned, even though the definitive edition's been out for so long. It's a game that, well, Sweden is a civilization that's just been redesigned, and so it's going to take time for us to learn all of these things and to find all these intricacies. So am I quitting Sweden? No, I'm not quitting Sweden. Despite that somewhat abrupt announcement on Discord, I'm going to stick with Sweden. I'll still be playing other civilizations. I'll still be taking civ requests, but I'm confident that Sweden can perform, especially when you pull off moves like this. Now, I'd hate to think that every single game is going to require me to take out an enemy TC, get crazy good trades in the early game, and then do some absolutely insane surround with my Karolians charging in, my 22 Hussars charging in, my 6 leather cannons all just popping off from the sides. Like, I've got the double flank with the leather cannons as well. I've got more on the way, but you can see it's just an absolute cleanup. There's really no hope at this point for the opponent, and that means that Sweden's able to come out on top. It's a beautiful victory for us, and we got 25 rating from this game. So really well played to the opponent. I think it was a bit of a tough game, just because I did get some fortunate trades, but for Sweden, I think we're still in it. I don't think we're going to be seeing any Sweden in the upcoming tournament, but I hope that if people continue looking for new build orders, perhaps we will see a competitive Sweden in the future. Maybe even a few buffs. Thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I'll be making sure to post more updates more frequently. Cheers, fellas.